What's up, this is Michael with Smoking Vapor. You can see the sign above me. We're going to do a review today on the Amigo Itsuwa Ifancy 50 watt device. And sitting on top of it is a Riptid, Amigo Riptid sub-ohm tank. This thing is, for starters, it's pretty small. As you can see, it fits nicely in your hand. I've been using it for 2-3 weeks, probably about that. I run it at 50 watts pretty much consistently the entire time. That's because I like a nice dense warm vapor. Specifications on this thing are it's 84 millimeters high. The length this way is 36 millimeters, 23 millimeters wide, a 2600 mAh internal battery, and it goes from 7 to 50 watts. So 1.4 to 9 volts if you want to look at it that way. I'm using our grape, 6 milligram. It's pretty decent. Yeah, this tank is kind of, if you want to compare it to something, it's kind of similar to an Atlantis, an upgraded version. This device, if you wanted to compare it to something, I would compare it to like an iTaste. It's got a USB port on the bottom that comes with your charger. Let's go down and take a look at it. Putting my gloves on here. The threads on this device are really smooth. It's got a nice small 510. Looks really sleek and clean. It looks like a brass contact on the inside. It says Ifancy right under the fire button. It's got nice clicky buttons. You hit the button 3 times to turn it on, 3 times to turn it off. Here, I'll show you. So you hit it 3 times and it turns off. Hit it 3 more times and it says Amigo Itsuwa Ifancy 50 watt, and then it brings you to your screen. And then on your screen you have your volts right there, your resistance there, and of course your watts right there. So right now it says 0 for ohms and 0 for volts because I don't have anything currently pushing through, but I keep it at about 50 watts. It's got a nice LCD screen. It's pretty clean looking, nice and shiny. You go all the way down to 7 watts or all the way up to 50, but like I said, I keep it at 50 pretty much all the time. It's got these nice finger grooves, I'm assuming, so that for when you're holding it this way, you have a nice spot to put your fingers when you're hitting the fire button. Screws holding it together on the top and on the bottom. Of course, your USB port. When you buy this thing brand new, it comes in this box. When you open the box, you have a limited 1-year warranty card. Of course, your mod would be sitting in here. Like so. Nice little finger grooves and cutouts for your buttons. Pops right out of there. And then when you pull the foam out, underneath there you have this nice little box. Inside, you pull this out, and you have a beauty ring for old school 510 adapters, and your USB charging cable. It's got your micro USB port for charging and your USB adapter to plug into a wall charger or your computer or your car. So after playing with it a little bit, it's got a nice airflow slot right here for bottom fed RDAs and tanks. But like I was saying, after using this for a while, there's only one quarrel I have with this thing, which isn't really much of a issue, but to some people it might bother you. Let's see if you can see this on the video. So when you put some RDAs on here, some RDAs or tanks, sometimes you'll get this little tiny gap. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's a little gap right in here. It doesn't sit completely flush with some things. Which isn't too big of a deal, because when you're using our devices, you've got this nice little adjustable 510 thread on there. So you can take your screwdriver and adjust it. So if you push this thing down, sitting almost flush with the, as you can see, it doesn't stick out at all, it's flush. And then screw it on the device. It eliminates the gap. But for me, that's kind of annoying, because I don't like having to stick to one company's devices. But then again, if you have devices with adjustable 510 pins on them that you can adjust down that far, which a lot of them these days have it, then you won't have that issue. But I mean, like if I'm trying to use my mini haze on here, you already saw it, I have that little gap, and that can be kind of annoying. I'm not a big fan of the finger slots, at least I wasn't until I got this device, and I found it's actually kind of comfortable being able to put your fingers inside the little grooves and use it that way. Now let's talk about the device itself, how long the battery lasts. Right now it's fully charged, as you can see right there. I charged it this morning before I came, so I could, for the purpose of this review. Using it consistently, it'll last about a day. I mean, if I wake up around 8 a.m. and I start puffing pretty much immediately when I get out of bed, and I can use this thing until about 10 p.m. before it dies or before it's close to dying. But then a lot of the time I carry, more than one device with me, so if something dies, I'm not really too worried about it. It has pass-through as well, so you can plug this thing in and charge it, so when you wake up and you're going to work, you can plug it in, hit it while you're going to work, and you don't use any battery life. These run in our shop, I think it's about 80 bucks, which really isn't a bad deal. I mean, especially for something this small that's covered under warranty by our company, that's always nice. And then we have here the Riptid. I don't know if you can see this, but it says Riptid right there on the top. And on the opposite side, it says Amigo on the top. It's got these nice heatsink fins. It comes with this drip tip with a nice Delrin insulator in there, if you can see that. Nice wide bore tip. I don't know if you can see that down in there or not, but it's a nice wide bore tip. It's a little long for my liking, but nice wide bore tip. The airflow on this thing is pretty hefty, as you can see. That slot's pretty wide. There's one on each side. It's got this nice little notch on it to stop it from moving too far, which is kind of nice. And it just moves like most airflow rings do. If you move it, both sides will be the same. And see, it has this nice little notch so it'll catch, so you can't move it too far to close it off too much one way. If you move it the other way, it stops again. It says on the bottom, let's see if I can catch it. It says sub-tank with a recyclable symbol, CE meaning it passed, and it says designed and manufactured by Itsuwa. The nice adjustable 510 pin. This thing is pretty nice. I love the airflow on it. It works really well. I haven't had any issues with it. My coils last about 2.5 weeks, you know, with consistent use. I have a 0.3 ohm coil in here right now, but the only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have top fill. You have to unscrew this piece, and there you have your coil, and your tank. So it's like most tanks where you, when you fill them, you take your bottle and you just kind of stick it on the side and fill her up. It can hold, I think from last time I checked, about 4.2 to 4.5 mils juice in here, which to me is plenty. Of course, your coils are replaceable, so you can screw your coils in and out. These are our brand of coils. They run about $3 a piece, and they work fairly well compared to a lot of coils that I've used. Yeah, but this setup is my, if I'm gonna have a long day traveling or doing whatever, you know, going around town or just sitting around, this is what I go to. Of course, I didn't really know about it until I came to this shop. It's the only shop that carries them, but these things work pretty well. My favorite thing though is just the size. It's so small, and the production, the big production is it's pretty good. So, I mean, I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like, and whether I would get it or not. If I didn't work here, that is. A lot of people, when they come into the shop and see me using this device, a lot of them ask me, do you only talk good about that device and use it because you work for the company? And I say no, because I really like this thing actually. This tank is a little big, but for how well it works, you can't really. I mean, if I could compare this thing to any other sub-tank on the market, I guess I would say it kind of fits in the same class as an Atlantis. But I personally don't like the Atlantis. I think the Atlantis sucks. I got it because I wanted to see what the hype was all about, and then when I got it and used it for a couple days, I realized that all the hype was kind of overrated because that thing doesn't really work all that well. This is kind of the next version to me because it's the next step up, I guess, because you get a lot more airflow. The flavor is great. The vapor production is great. And it never leaks on me. I haven't had this thing leak on me. I've had it sit completely sideways on my lap for an hour while I'm watching a movie and pick it back up and had no leak at all. The Atlantis used to leak a lot. A lot of tanks these days leak a lot. I don't get any gurgling or flooding, and the coils last a really long time, especially with a 0.3. I'm a man of many devices. I have a lot of devices. I mean, I have 3 with me a lot. I mean, today, regularly, I usually have a couple. I can never stick to one because I like different things about so many different devices. And this to me is a good go-to. It's decently cheap. A lot of devices these days are just overpriced, but for this, especially having a warranty under our company, it's kind of a good deal. It's a pretty good deal, really. The whole setup, the tank is normally about around 80, 60 to 80. The tank runs about 35. When you buy the two together, it's about 110. comes with the charger, 2 replaceable coils, and everything. So I'll show you how the box comes. Specs on the back. Same deal as the other, warranty card, limited year warranty card, inspection pass, print. This one is silver and not black. I have the black because I like it to match my device. But it comes with 1 coil already installed that I believe is a 0.3, and then you get a 0.5 that comes with it as well, so you get to try both and see which one you like. And then it comes with this nice little tool. It's got a wrench end and a flat end. The flat end is for adjusting your 510 pin. This piece, I believe, the only way that I can see this wrench end being at all used is that on your coils you have this nice flat piece, little cutouts on the side here, and it fits almost perfectly on there. I'm not sure why you would ever need that or what you would use it for, but I mean, hey, it might come in handy. Yeah, if you're into a small device with a lot of battery life, it's for you. If you like sub tanks, again, probably something for you. A lot of people are getting into these little Siga-likes, which we also mass produce. They work pretty well. This one is dead. Oh well. But like I said, thanks for watching. Go get you one.